validate this structure through the second part of the market research, which is going and talking to people. Your offers are not optimized, and this is a very important part. Your offers are not optimized because you mostly haven't talked to your ideal client, but in depth, have real conversations and ask their opinion about what you are doing. For this offer, the offer optimization forge, initially this was a 6-week training with a 0 week, which was like binge watching trainings. And the first person I talked to when I did the market research, and I said, in the first week, I'm going to give you access to all the videos to binge watch them. They said, oh my God, I'm going to feel so overwhelmed. Like if you give me access to everything, I'm just going to not do anything because I'm going to be too overwhelmed. And I said, well, okay, then I'm going to give you access every week to a bit. The second person I talked to said, if you give me access to everything, I might just watch the modules that I want to watch because I don't have too much time. And I'm not going to watch everything. And it is important to actually do things in this way. So I said, okay, then I can do like this. I can unlock the next module only after the previous one has been watched, worked on, and so on. So only from 2 calls, I immediately understood what error I would have made with offering everything, like all the videos and videos and videos at once. Now, talking to more people, I actually realized that you don't need 6 weeks for this training. You actually need it as a training. Maybe you need 6 weeks afterwards to implement. But actually, this could be just a training, taking you through everything, giving you what you need, and then you can apply and ask for feedback during implementation. Now, I'm going to come back to this, but market research and ideal client surveys and ideal client calls are the most important thing and beneficial thing that you are going to do for your offer. This is what's going to validate your offer. Get out there and talk to people. And I know you might be introverts and you might say, oh my God, how am I going to do this? I'm going to give you some templates that you can post, and I'm going to show you my post, and I'm going to show you also some results from my clients. But please, please, please do not put offers out there if you haven't talked to people and you haven't made sure that people actually want what you have, because this is one of the reasons they don't sell. Or the way you present them, or the things that are included. There might be things that you have to change. There are 2 ways of doing this ideal client research. On the one hand, you have surveys, and here you have some questions that you can adapt to your business. You can send a survey to people. Now, surveys are okay if people are introverts and if they don't really want to jump on calls with you, but they are not the best thing, because when you are on a Zoom call with someone, you can actually ask for clarification. It's more important to actually get them on call. So you can do a survey, send it to them, and then gather the information, or you can jump on calls. Now, before you actually do this, you need to think, do you want them to fill in a form before actually jumping on a Zoom call with you? And what are you going to give them? When you ask people to help you with your market research, you need to give them something. Most people won't want anything, but some people might benefit from some of your teachings. When I did this, I actually offered coaching. Now, there have been people who didn't want coaching, and in this case, I offered them like an affiliate link to one of my offers that I put out there, and if they promote it, they can get a certain amount of money. Normally, it's like 20% of what I make, or 40% depending on the offer. So you need to think, what are you going to give them, because they are so nice to spend time with you and help you. Now, when I say this, people are like, and how am I going to do this? Now, I have here 3 different templates, and I'm going to give you this document and you can copy them. You have 3 templates that you can adapt and use with your own information to ask people to jump on a call with you, so you can ask them some questions about your offer, the one that you've created here. And I'm going to tell you what you're going to discuss during those calls. First of all, you need to make sure that you tell them this is not a sales pitch and that you are going to be offering them something and that you just want their feedback. Okay, be very clear and keep your promise when it comes to this. So I did this in two ways. I first posted this: hey there, solopreneurs and small business owners. So I called out 10 people. I'm working on an exciting new course about optimizing your offer. This one I'm actually teaching tonight. So this offer has been through this, which is not selling at all or selling poorly. Your offer, yeah, not my offer. And I could really use your help. I'm looking for some honest feedback. Don't worry, it's not a sales speech, and I'm going to give you a personalized gift, blah, 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 blah. And some people commented, and I sent them a DM. So I just told them to comment. I think that's the best thing to do. And then you can send them a friend invite, and then you can DM them. When I DM them, I again told them who I was looking for. So you don't want to jump on calls with everyone. You want to jump on calls with people who are actually the ones for your offer, the ones for your market research. There were people who are just starting out. They didn't actually have an offer. Those were not the people I wanted to talk to. I wanted to talk to people who already had offers which were not selling at all or selling poorly. That's what I wanted. You need to tell them again, because sometimes, they are so excited. Oh my God, someone's going to help me with my offer. But it's offer optimization. It's not offer creation, although it looks like, if you think about it. Now, this post didn't perform very well. However, this one performed much better. What I did is like, okay, I wanted to see why didn't that post perform very well. Maybe not many people actually struggle with offer optimization. Maybe they struggle with something else. And these are the three offers that I have. Offer optimization: once we have the offer, we go into launching. And after we launch and we see how things are done the first time, then we can automate, optimize, and so on. And I described this. And I ask people to vote. Sometimes it's much easier to ask people to vote, to take action, than to actually ask them to do anything else. And I still asked if someone wanted to jump on a market research call. They could comment, and some people did, and I jumped on call with them. And the people that commented to this one were, I know it's going to sound bad, but much better quality, meaning much closer to what I was looking for, who I was looking for my offer. So these are the types of posts that you can put out there. And as I was saying, you have 3 different templates that you can use. And of course, you have a week for implementation. So you can write yours and you can post them in the group, and I can give you feedback, or the others can also give you feedback. Now, what do you do on the calls? Now, you are going to take each step, of your offer and discuss it with the person and ask for their feedback. As I said, during week 1, I'm going to give you access to all the trainings in order to binge watch them. And the people said what they said, and I was like, that is a bad idea. Then I discussed each of the weeks, and this week I'm going to do this, and this week I'm going to do this. And at one point, it became obvious that some things would work better together. There wasn't actually the need of a 6-week program, but maybe a 4-week program. So that's how the offer optimization forged what it is tonight. It was 6 weeks and then 4 weeks, and then it was like, you know what, 90 minutes is okay. And I ask every time, what do you think about this? Do you struggle with this? Would you need help with this? And what they said during the calls really helped me map out the offer afterwards. And I'm going to show you some things. But something that's really important, and I want to tell you for the calls, is record them. You can either use Zoom and then Descript. Descript is an app that you put the video into and it transcribes it, because you are going to need the transcript. Or you can use Fathom, like I do tonight, and Fathom automatically transcribes it. There might be a lot of information that you don't remember from the calls, but sometimes it's just easier to copy the transcript, put it in AI, and tell AI, what did they say about this? What did they say about that? What did I say? What did they say? What was the feedback? You don't have to read and listen and listen to the videos. You can make your life easier if you use the technology we have. You can just ask AI, this is the transcript from one of my market research calls. What are the main problems that my ideal client identified with my offer? Boom, AI is going to take them out, problem solved. After you gather all the information and you see what they say, then you create your offer. That's how my offer optimization came from being 6 weeks to being a training after I actually went out and talked to people. And something else that I did was to use some of the things that they said into the copy. So I can use, in order to make my offer sound like it was written by my ideal client, I can go through my competitors and gather information from their reviews. I can go to my clients and gather information from their reviews. And I can go to those market research calls that I had and gather some information. So when I first said that in the offer optimization, I'm going to start with the ideal client, someone actually said, ideal client, I actually did this work so many times. And I knew right then and there that if I don't address this very clearly, people might say, I've already done ideal client work. I don't need ideal client work. I've already done it. And so what that person said, I actually added it onto my copy and I said, nail down your ideal client, no more hazy ideas. We're going to get crystal clear and don't give me that blah, blah, blah. I've done it so many times before, because if you'd had done it properly, you wouldn't have been in this mess. So I knew from that call how to react in case someone had an objection to my offer. When you talk to those people in your market research, you are going to see what they would object at, and you can come up with solutions. So now when you read this, you might say, yeah, I've actually done it, but maybe there's a way I can do it that is better. And then I come up here and I tell you, this is how you do it. And it's not just one point. You first want to get the person who is ready to work with you, because you don't want to educate them that they need you. You want them to pay for the offer. You don't want to spend months educating them. You want to tell them, you are ready to work with me. This is what I have for you. Let's go. Then you want to look at other competitors and see how do they talk, because if they talk and they get sales, then you might want to talk like that too, and how their ideal client describes themselves in the reviews. And then you want to go and talk to the people. When I say nail your ideal client, I mean like nail your ideal client. You can't tell me that after deciding, looking at your competitors and talking to people, you won't have a clear idea. You would actually have a clear idea for the first time. With what you learn, you go back to the offer that you had, the one that you created on point 3, if I remember correctly, and you restructure it. You change the price. Of course, you can, during your calls, you are going to talk to people about pricing, and you are going to say, I was thinking of pricing this offer at this point. Would this be okay for you? And you are going to see if, you talk to your ideal client, how they feel about that. Maybe it's too expensive. Maybe it's too affordable. Maybe you thought of, charging just a pay in full, but they are going to tell, if you sell it to me for that price, I wouldn't be able to buy it. But if you give me payment plans, yes, I'm actually going to be able to buy it. You need to ask those people on the calls all the things that you are not 100% sure of. Pricing, duration, what's included, everything. You want to get all their objections, all their ideas, and put them into your offer and into your sales page. So this is where we actually optimize the offer with information. And as you can see, an offer which sells is not an offer you create overnight. Now, if you've already had clients and you work with them one-to-one and you want to transition to one-to-many or to do that evergreen, you can have calls with your clients, the ones you already have. But again, I would work a bit with people who have not been in your world, because you want the opinion of people who haven't worked with you.